are subordinated, and then of course women somehow derive pleasure when this paradigm fails. You have to be aware. This is something you know from the school as well. There's always one student who is the teacher's pet, and he's being favored. He's being praised, and then you as you don't have to be sadistic. You don't have to be mean. This doesn't mean that all feminists are somehow sadistic. No, this is rather you somehow feel pleasure when these people then fail or fall and so on. And this has some sort of a created some of a climate of hatred, of discomfort, and of course constantly constantly challenging the male reading role, which is indeed positive. Nothing against that, and then of course they derive pleasure as well. So you could consider this as some sort of a revenge of the woman. The woman is being disadvantaged, or is underprivileged within society. She does not know how to take revenge, and then of course one way to take revenge is then in a way subordinate the man, rob him of his manhood, and so on. And for these women, those feminist men became some sort of a means of revenge. They are not taken very seriously because some radical feminists think that by all means necessary the patriarchy needs to be destroyed, and there is no compromise possible. So you cannot go along with man, and either way, man would have to be put out of the way. So that in that sense, again, this male feminist paradigm does not really succeed in that sense, that it would contribute to an approach of the two genders, and especially to live along in a very positive way, not with ambiguity, not in ambiguity and with tension. And a very important mindset with the male feminist paradigm is actually some sort of a passive aggressive nature, because you have to be aware, or as we said before, there are still these prototypes of man behavior. So as a man, you grow up to be the hero. This is in books. This is something you find in comics, in movies, everywhere, in ads, social media. So men, some sort of, in a way, always are dominant. They are they are the dominant part in the society, and as we said before, this social category of man and woman, they still persist despite the fact that they are cross-dressing and so on, and they are and superheroes. This is what you see: superheroes and those stars or whatever who fight for a good, who fight for against evil or whatever they do, never submit. You won't find superheroes, or the script for those superheroes was not or is not written, or hasn't been written for now. It doesn't exist, and in these books and so on, there is no role model for a hero to subordinate himself itself to some sort of make its peace with the situation, and there are still traditional gender roles, and it is not only that they exist, but people get acknowledgement and approval for these gender roles, for these male gender roles, which you some sort of being stigmatized, as well as people then know who you are, what they can expect from you, because like we said before, this male gender role of the businessman is still persisting, and this means some sort of everyone has become a businessman as well as a businesswoman, and you make always prediction, reputation whatsoever, and you trust everything which is for you predictable, which you know from your culture and so on. So this male feminist gender becomes some, in a way, as alien, unpredictable, and as well as unfavorable. And of course, this male gender role seems to be having made a sacrifice. So these male feminists have sacrificed their male ambitions, because you are being taught in the superhero books, in the comics and so on. You want to gain fame, you want to gain approval. That's partially the only way you can get approval in the society. And since feminism did not get rid of these social categories, they still exist. And then the response of men who sacrifice their own ambitions to support women is then ambiguous, and this leads to a passive aggressive being, especially against the accomplishments of other men who do not seem to be bothered by this by any support or restraint. And then of course male feminism, they cannot live their active nature towards women, because this gender has no real role models. It was not really defined, because it only means that you subordinate yourself, put yourself some sort of behind, and then you get rid of your activeness, or in a way, and of course they are aggressive because that their sacrifices they made, this is in a way nonchalantly accepted by the society. For other men, these are weaks. For other men, they are betters, or even fearful cowards, whatever. And this may be true partially, and like I said, there are of course some psychological effects as well, which leads to men to be more around women. However, this can be how you grow up and so on. So in this overall society, they are not being considered as man enough, you could say, and then this leads to a passive aggressiveness bearing towards women as well. But you cannot live this aggressiveness, because this aggressiveness towards women, this is actually what you try to avoid, as well as you cannot take part in this male gaze, because it is some sort of banned, and this leads then in a way to open aggressivity or aggression, open aggressions against other men, with the attempt to some sort of demasculinate them, derive them deprive them from their manhood, undermine them, or in a way to eliminate this threat, this this appearance of one's own as not enough. And of course, you have to be aware that still, because these standards of heroes and men still persist, that you then socialize according to that man, socialize according to those still existing male genders, and then these male feminists some sort of fall out of these social voluntary social communities, and one of the reasons is because people think that they are secretly homosexuals, or weak, do not approve the standard, or are in a way are feminine, and this leads to some sort of further aggravation and so on, and this common passive aggressiveness. And you can see this. I mean, the social media is a great place where you see this passive aggressive man who then really which can become really nasty. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I've witnessed some of them in the university. I mean, these people, they can then really become sadistic, and even it goes even into perversion, inhumanity, inhuman behavior, which one might think is some sort of is a contradiction to the approach, but this situation where they put themselves in order to where this sacrifice they made was not approved from society, and this led to a lot of hatred and aggression. And then this will sometimes it only needs a trigger, and then it all comes forward, explodes, and this is mostly against other men, and then we will see later it is as well as against men of other cultures, which are then being considered as all evil and so on. So this male, so this feminist man has not really contributed to a cultural approach. This feminist male gender has left a lot of tension, or brought tension within the society as well as between men, then later between cultures. Other cultures are being then considered as barbarians, and they would take advantage of things, and then because this feminist man try to be the hero, still try to be the hero, because they don't know anything else. You are being brought up that way. You have to be the hero. You have to follow the hero journey, and then this feminist man then search for niches where they are then unrestrained, and where they then can live their hero role model with which they grow up. This was today about feminist men. I hope it was understandable. This was Adem Kibas from Urdu, and I hope you are doing fine. Bye.